Hello again, sixth grade. We are going to continue with our review. Today we are going to do number 20. Start at number 24. Number 24 says, which of the following are equivalent to negative 9? Select all that apply. So more than one. Negative 9. Remember, a positive divided by a negative is a negative, or a negative divided by a positive is still a negative, as long as they're opposite. So we have negative 27 divided by 3, that's negative 9. Yes. 36 divided by negative 4, that's negative 9. 45 divided by 5, that's positive 9. So no, that doesn't work. Negative 3 divided by 27 is negative 0.11. Nope, that doesn't work. 18 divided by 2, negative 18 divided by 2, that negative is applied to either one. That is negative 9. So yes, negative 54 divided by negative 6, negative divided by a negative is a positive. So that's positive 9. And so nope, that doesn't work. Your answers are A, B, E. All right, let's come on down to number 25. It says there's point V that is located at negative 4.3 and negative 3.8. It's always going to be good to give yourself a little reference. Negative 4.3 and negative 3.8. So the point is down here. The point V is down here. Point W is located at still negative 4.3, but now on the other side at positive 3.8. So this is point W. Well, what happened? To get from V all the way over to W, it would have been reflected over your x-axis, because that's your x and this is your y. So it would be reflective over your x-axis. The answer is that one. Number 26 seems crazy, but a couple of ways you could go about this. Maybe you cut the box like that. That's fine. Maybe you cut the box up and down. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you could think about this. It is not a shape per se, but it's actually a composite figure made up of different rectangles, right? So if I think a good strategy will be to find the actual area of the rectangle and then find out which of these will also give you that same area of the rectangle. So I know this big one here is 6 times 5, which is 30. I know this middle one here, let me make it red, is going to be 4 feet times, I don't know the height. But if I know that this big long thing here is 6, then I know that all these sides are a portion of that. If the whole thing is 6 and this part up here is 2, right? If this part is 2, then that means this is going to be 4, because 6 minus 4 gives me 2, or 6 minus 2 is going to give me that 4. So now I know that this interior one is 4 times 4, and 4 times 4 is 16. So it's 16 for that interior one. Now let me look at 3. I know that that's that. Let me get another color. Did I go with blue? I'll go with green. Yes. So this side is 3. Well, 3 times what is going to give me that rectangle? Well, I do know that the whole thing up here is 12.5. So if this is 5 feet and this is 4 feet, then I have to subtract those from 12.5 to get the remaining 3.5 feet. And if it's the same as the top, it's the same as the bottom. Yeah. So then we have within this box, it's 3.5 times 3. And so this green box is going to be 10.5. So then I know that my total area will be the sum. It's 30 plus 16. Let me go blue. It's the 30 from the blue one plus the 16 from the red one, plus the 10.5 from the green one. So in total, my area is 56.5 feet. When I look down here, I want to check the first one. 12.5 times 6 is 90. No, sorry, 75. 75 minus 18.5 is 56.5. So yes, that one will work. I can see up here that I use the 5 times 6 and the 4 times 4 and the 3 times 3.5. So I'm pretty much good there. I could come here. I could still put it though. So 30, 16, and 10.5. Together gives me 56.5. I'm good. On the next one, I have 21 plus 30. That does not give me 56.5, so I know that's not it. The next one here is going to give me 37.5. And I'm just multiplying within the parentheses. Remember you append this. Plus 9 plus 10. And that gives me 56.5. So yes, this one here is 54 plus 10.5 minus 8. And so that gives me 56.5. Yes, it does. I know all my answers are good to go except that one. Let's look at number 27. This is an exponent. So remember that means 2 times 2 times 2. And 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Exponent tells me how many times to multiply the base. All right, so number 28, we're going to think about what they're saying and make sure it makes sense. It says last year, Mandy spent $43,850. That's what she spent. Whenever you spend money, you are losing money. And so that's a negative, right? And she earned, anytime you add money to your bank account, you earn money. That's going to be a positive number. Select all the correct statement about Mandy's budget. So she spent 43,000 about, and she earned 48. All right, so it says a positive number should represent her spending. Spending is not positive. You don't get more money when you spend. So no. Negative numbers should represent Mandy's earnings. No, when you gain money, that's not negative. Your stuff is building up. It's adding to what you have. So no, we don't use negative to represent earnings. A positive number should represent earnings. Yeah, because I'm adding money. Mandy was in debt by the end of the year. Well, if she has a positive 48,135 and she loses or she spends 43,850, well then at the end of the day, she would have more money than she spent. So no, she's not going to be in debt. Mandy was able to save some money, yeah, because she's going to have some extra left over. All right. Number 29 says, which of the following orders the values from least to greatest? Be careful because sometimes they want greatest to least. We just have to think about what they're asking. Right? So the absolute value of any number is positive. That's 12. But then this comes on down, and so it's negative 12. We have a positive 5 here. Oh, but then there's a negative in front of the absolute value. Makes it negative 5. The absolute value of negative 4 is positive 4. And then we have a negative that was out front. That's negative 4. And then the absolute value of negative 12 is positive 12. So now they want from least to greatest, like which is smaller to which is bigger on a number line. So we have 0, negative 1, negative 2. So it gets smaller this way and it gets bigger to the right. There's a 12 up there. So negative 12 would actually fall further down here. Negative 12 is the first one. And so the answer is C. Negative 5 would be next. And then negative 4. And then 12. Actually, it was already in order. That's cute. Here we go. Number 30. This is our box and whisker plot, our box plot. It says it represents the number of minutes Ashvi rehearsed her lines for the school play in the last 11 days. Use the numbers to make a true statement about the data in the box plot. They gave us some numbers. Then they said the middle 50% of the population can be determined by finding the interval between blank minutes and blank minutes. All right, so if we remember the box plot, each of them is 25%. So that's 25% of the data, 25% of the data, 25% of the data, and 25% of the data. The middle 50% then is going to be right in here because it has to be in the middle. And it's 50%. 25 plus 25 is 50. So it's going to be between 20 and 40. Number 31, this one is a tricky one. It says a half a mile exercise trail, which starts and ends at the same place, has exercise stations every 1/2 mile along the trail. There is not an exercise center at the start, which is also really where it ends because it starts and ends at the same place. Candace jogs the entire trail 3 times, stopping to do every exercise posted. How many stops does she make in all? All right, well, I would give myself a visual. I know that there is a trail, 1 mile, and it's half a mile long. Cool beans. I know there is a track or there is a stop every 1/8 mile. So maybe I could put this into eighth. I would make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So maybe 1/8 here, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, which is the same as 1/2, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and then 8/8 makes a whole. I'm just breaking this up into eighths. All right. So then it says the track is half a mile long, so I don't really need that part. And there is nothing at the beginning or at the end, and the end is the same as the beginning. So really, there's going to be 3 stops. A stop sign here. Okay, not the shape of a stop sign, but okay, stops. There's really 3 stops along this thing because this is the end / beginning, and this is the beginning or the end / beginning, right? So really she's making 3 stops every time she does it. Well, she does the whole trail 3 times. So if she's doing 3 stops and she makes it 3, then she stopped 3 times in all. Oh, not 3, I said 3. She stops 9 times in all. All right, number 32. It says, what is the value of 3W plus W times 5 when W is -4? We are going to, because I know that W is -4, I'm going to put it in for W every time I see it. So this is 3W plus W times 5. I know that W is 4. So we're going to have 3 times W plus W times 5. W is -4, so I put -4. Oh, that looks like just a squiggly. I'm going to put -4 every time I see a W. And then I'm going to use my PEMDAS, right? So multiplication, order of operation. So 3 times -4 is going to give me -12 plus -4 times 5, which is -20. And then I have 2 of the same signs, -12 plus -20, and that's going to give me -32. Cool thing too about your Desmos calculator, if you put this in as is, it will also give you -32. All right, number 33. If you flatten a tissue box, ooh la la, you will get the net below, where the white rectangle is the top opening. Let's find the surface area of the box. We know that surface area is simply the total of all the areas. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangles, 5, 6, 6 rectangles, and then there's a little tiny rectangle, but it's a hole, so I'm going to have to subtract that out. Let's get the area of the rectangles then. I know for this one, it's going to be 4.3 times 4.3 because it's base times height, length times width, and that's going to give me 18.8. 18.49. Well, this is the same as that little rectangle, huh? Right? It's like the side of the box. So then we would have 18.49 at that area as well. Now let's look in here. I know that 4.3 is one side of it, but what's this big, long red part? Oh, there it is. It is 8.8. If that's 8.8, these are all going to be 8.8. So I know that this is 8.8, which means the area here is 37.84. That's 4.3 times 8.8. Well, isn't it still 4.3 here? Times 8.8. So this is 37.84. Think of a cereal box going all the way around. Those are the same. Well, it's a tissue box. So going all the way around. Those rectangles, because they told me it was 4.3 here, and all of these are 8.8, is going to be the same. So this is 37.84. And this is also 37.84. Oh, but there's a hole in here. I actually need to find the area of that little rectangle. Let me call that rectangle blue, a blue rectangle. All right, so on the side of that, it said it's 0.5, and then the other part is 5.4. Well, how do I find the area of that rectangle? It's just base times height. And when I multiply 0.5 times 5.4, I am going to get 2.7. So the area of this little one in here is 2.7. But keep in mind, I have to subtract that part because it's the hole in the top of the tissue that you got to pull the tissue out of. So now let's go ahead and put it all together. I'm going to add You could also multiply this by 4 and multiply that by 2. But let's go. We're going to add, just for clarification, 13.84 plus 37.84 plus 37.84 plus 37.84 plus 18.49 plus 18.49. Again, you could have just done 4 times that, which would have given you 151.36. And then 2 times that, which would have given you 36.98. Nonetheless, all together, you should have gotten, let me add those parts together. Oh, I didn't have a calculator, guys. I've been doing a lot of this. All right, so when I add my 37s and all of that jazz, I'm going to get 151. Um, 188.34. Now be careful because that's not my answer. I still have to subtract out the little hole in the top, right? So this hole has to be subtracted. So that's 188.34 minus the hole, which is 2.7. And that's going to give me my actual answer, which is 185.64. 185.64. Just in case you can't tell up there, I'm also going to come down here and subtract that, 2.7? That's how I get it again, 185.64. And that is the complete surface area of the box. Right, that's it for, yep, that would be 24 to 33. All right, tune in for the next one. I'll do the next 10.